If you woke up in the morning and didn't know, was I married? How old am I? Do I have any children? Where do I live? How frightening would that be if you just woke up and didn't know that in the morning? And that happens.
Starrett Lodge is a wonderful place to visit. It's filled with laughter and happiness that I've never experienced in any other senior care facility in the United States or elsewhere.
We don't miss out on anything that's part of life. And it's amazing the things that Colin cooks up for us to do that makes us feel part of the outside world as well as part of here.
It began really with the idea that people's behavior was determined a lot by what went on in the environment. The director, Colin, discovered that light was crucially important to the way people behave with each other and on their own. And the first thing he did was to change the physical environment by bringing in more light.
Light helps with depression, it helps with circadian rhythms so they sleep better. The staff have got more options, they come outside now in the garden.
He did a number of other modifications to the physical environment too, all of them, by the way, supported by excellent science. What he discovered was not only did the physical environment change, but the behavior of people who lived there began to change. They began to gravitate and migrate toward the light and toward a friendlier way of being with each other.
We decreased agitation by 47%, decreased depression by nearly 14%, and improved quality of life by 15%. By people seeing how you can change a person's life, how you can actualise their abilities by making such a small change of an environment, what other impacts you could have on life. So that led to the next step, which was writing a book, people with dementia writing a book.
When I read Mum's story, I was laughing one minute and crying the next minute, but I think it's just a fabulous thing that they've done to enable the ladies to feel there's purpose. It's given them a task to do, something to focus on, something that they feel important.
Well, we published the book and then we launched the book. The people that bought the book got them to autograph their book, so that made them feel very important.
Everything we do here is great fun.
Starrett Lodge showed me that it was possible to have extraordinary care. People could be active, they had capacities that continued, and that good care meant finding what their capacities were, nourishing them, having them continue doing things perhaps differently than they had before, but that they were capable of a great deal when they got encouragement and when their self-confidence was renewed by people.
When you do anything, you're not left on a shelf to do it on your own. Everybody hops in.
And then we introduced intergenerational programs. It's meaningful, people get a lot of love out of it.
When the babies come in, the behaviours stop. Like one lady paces the corridors and rubs her hands, and that's just her whole day. But when the babies come in, she wants to nurse the baby, she wants to play with the baby, she wants to talk to the baby, so she starts acting like a normal grandmother would, I guess.
When you look at people living with dementia, they have implicit memory and they have that explicit memory. Explicit memory is more current, it's more contextual, it's what did you see in the paper today, what was on the news last night. Implicit memory is more about procedural things, it's about emotion, it's about feeling, it's about sense, how you ride a bike, how you brush your hair. It's there from the beginning, it's ingrained. But when you use tools and prompts that memory comes alive again. So in doing that and using that memory by bringing children in, they know exactly automatically what to do. They know that if you put a hot cup of coffee in front of a baby, it's dangerous, and they move it automatically. So the brain works just as fast. Even if you've got severe dementia, it'll click in and say, this is not good, this is dangerous, let's move that, look after the baby. Sing here, they read books, they play music, they sing, and they're beautiful things to see and to watch, and how they react with children. Just like a normal 30-year-old mother or 20-year-old mother, there's no difference.
There was a window opened. It was my mum.
And it doesn't matter if they're male or female, males still love children as well. People think it's only females, but males love as well. And we've had a lot of males in here who have integrated and interacted with children exactly the same as what the females do. It's about everyone getting together to share, and that's about providing the environment and providing the places for them to come and be able to do that. Quite often we have music nights, rock and roll nights. We're having a karaoke night. But the one that we've done recently was a family fun day, which we had lots of animals and horses and things like that, so people can feel and touch and cuddle rabbits and things, so the families can become involved. So if a relative comes in and sees their loved one is cared for and is loved and enjoying themselves and is laughing and is playing and having a good time, they relax. Once they start to relax, then that bond of relationship of mother, daughter, husband, wife starts again, rather than being responsible and caring.
Starrett has since become famous for the quality of care it provides, and has won numerous awards for exactly that, for innovation, for high quality care, and for caring about residents and staff as though they're part of one single organism of humanity.
There's a lot of freedom here to be creative. That's the best part. Like, there's freedom to try new things, and there's encouragement to do that.
So the more that happens, they can see that they can make a difference in life. It is not just washing, showering, cleaning floors, doing meals. It's innovative, it's inspiring.
Among the treasures of Starrett is the realization that if staff is not happy, residents cannot be happy, and vice versa. Everybody has to cultivate joy as part of what they do in everyday life in order to make this work.
Staff don't turn over. We have no agency staff here whatsoever, never have, because staff like to work here. And the more you do things, the more you involve them, the more creative they become. Person-centred care is a popular thing that's talked about everywhere, but really person-centred care is not often done very well. A lot of people don't understand it, really. It's task-orientated stuff, dressed up on most cases and called person-centred care. It's about relationships. It's about forming relationships. How much you know about a person so that you can do things that assist and enable that person to still be a person, rather than take over and tell and control and manage. I'm there to advocate for that person. I'm not to take over, I'm their advocate, and being on tap rather than on top. So it's like you're around if someone needs you to support you, but you're not on top saying, let's go, you're going to do this or you're going to do this, now it's time for your shower, now it's time to do this, now it's time to do that.
Well, it is hard work getting it all organised, but the benefits outweigh the hard work.
So it's how you approach someone, how you use respect, how you give them dignity, all those sort of things, how you give them choice, agency, decision-making processes, allowing them still to be a person, to be a participant rather than a recipient. That's person-centred care, and that's relationships, and that's between staff, between family, and between the residents as well.
Today I'm visiting Sylvia. I come each Wednesday to visit her. I've been coming for a few months now, and now she's starting to recognise me. Of course, she doesn't remember my name, but she recognises my face, and it's nice for her to have a visitor. When I first started to visit Sylvia, I didn't really know anything about her, so I sat here each week, and just little by little I would ask her things, and after I had enough information to start a little This Is Your Life book, I then came in one day and brought a collection of hats and scarves and took photos of her. Today she remembered that she'd seen those photos before.
And when you build that story, you start to understand them and you can improve your relationship. They start to recognise you, so when you ask the question, they say, how did you know that?
And you went to school in Ashfield?
Ashfield, yeah.
In Sydney, and then you lived in DY.
How did you know all these things?
Oh, you told me, and you travelled to Europe.
The story will slowly grow. The more confident they get, the more they're valued as a person, the more you show interest in them as who they are as a person, the more they understand who they are, and that's person-centred care.
As a sociologist, I know that there are diseases that do things to our bodies, but a great deal of the symptoms that people have is not because of the disease in our bodies, but because of the way other people treat us. And when people treat us as still being present, as still having capacities, encourage us, establish relationships with us, a great many of the symptoms that we see in people in dementia care disappear, or at least are substantially reduced, and they can be people who are happy and who engage in many activities.
The residents themselves at their meetings decided they wanted to achieve things they'd never done in life before. So they started a bucket list and they put all their wishes for what they want into a hat. So each person in turn, by drawing their name out of the hat, gets a turn at achieving their bucket list, and it is incredible results what they're doing. The lady wants to go and have a helicopter ride, so that's going to happen.
Well, one lady wanted to take her friend somewhere posh for a meal.
We had a limousine, we had flowers pinned on our lapels, and we had the most beautiful breakfast, lunch, a few little nips of, whatever, and it was absolutely beautiful.
We had a beautiful view.
Yes, beautiful blue.
View.
I beg your pardon?
We're right out over the ocean.
Yes,
Yeah, it was lovely.
The view was beautiful.
Oh, it was a wonderful day, really grand.
Marcia even said it was the best day of her life.
One of our men is going to go deep sea fishing. They've been to gardens, they've been to Hunter Valley, to the vineyards. They're going everywhere and having a ball.
You've got to have something to look forward to.
One of the things people in aged care are risk averse, like even to come into a beautiful environment out here, people think that it's dangerous because over there someone might fall over and you can't see it. It's better than sitting inside all day and not having a reason to live, so risk is a normal thing that you live with in life. And we had a man who wanted to go and have a parachute jump. He's 86, he was in the Second World War. And that was his wish, but his family weren't real keen on that. So we discussed it with him and he had the capacity to make the decision, yes, that's what I want. So we enabled him to go and make that parachute jump.
And keep it going every day till the night. From when you first see the sun until the stars show the light. No, not a care in the world, not a word from me. I tell you, this is what it's like to be free. So lift me up, I'm moving on. Singing and dancing while I play my song, yeah, I'm having a good time.
When the parachute landed, it was a fair way away from where we were all standing, and he was on the ground, it seemed to me like must have been an hour. When he finally got up, which wasn't very long at all, but to me it seemed like an eternity. He was just so blown out that with the experience that he just let it soak into him, and then he stood up with the help. It was successful, it was fantastic. He had a great experience with it. We have to value people's rights, that they've still got choice and decision making. And no matter how old they are, they can still go and do things, no matter how risky it is, if that's what they want to do. Famous saying by Nietzsche, he who has a why to live for can bear almost any how. The how it's done is not as important as the why, the reason for living, the internal essence of why should I still be alive? Why should I still want to stay here? And the why is so important, to have that reason, the why, the will to live, the will to do things. And we have to inspire people to still to do that in aged care. That you're not dead until you're dead. So you've got to live until you die.
Life is just one experience after another. And I don't know of any place before I came here or since I've been here that would hold a candle to this place.
It not only met my expectations, but it far exceeded them, as I saw a place that I think is the best quality care that I've seen.
This model of care can be achieved in almost any environment if you have the right idea and the right people doing it.
So if you can help someone still remember and retain who they are and where they are and why I'm still here, that's got to be a benefit.